Good morning, Team Gratitude. Hello, hello. I am coming to you from the West Coast, so it's a little bit earlier here than it is where most of you are over on the East Coast. So I'm going to give just a minute or so for people to pop in, but if you're catching this part, you're probably catching the replay. And so to the replay viewers, hey Melissa, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to invest into your business. I see that Brandy just popped on. Yeah, if you have no sound, hop out, hop back in. There's glitches at some point, but I hope my hope and my goal is that you get some nuggets to take away and that you get excited about this idea of starting a hostess of the month club. So while we're getting some people to jump on, what I would love to be able to meet all of you. So I'm going to do a little introduction, but I would like to get to know you. So if you can tell me who you are, so be like, hey, I see Stacy. So I'm Stacy. Tell me where you're from, and then tell me if you've ever had a Hostess of the Month club, or if you want a Hostess of the Month club. Okay, so tell me who you are. Hey, Dana. Tell me who you are. Tell me where you're from. And then tell me your experience with Hostess of the Month Club, whether you've had one before or you're looking to start one up, because the benefits are really, really awesome. So while y'all are doing that, if you've never been part of a live before, you're not familiar with a live, there is a slight delay into when you type your comment versus when I see it. So I'm not ignoring you. There's just usually a small little delay. So my name is Becky. Just to give you a little background, I know Melissa gave me a very humbling introduction, and I started my business back in 2014. We had started to foster my daughter at 5.5 months, and at the time I had a 3-year-old son and a 5.5-month-old foster daughter, and I needed a new diaper bag because the diaper bag that I had gotten at our baby shower wasn't cutting it. We dropped $90 on this diaper bag, and it couldn't hold enough for two kiddos. Thank you, Stacy. Awesome. Okay, Glen Falls, just like Melissa. Awesome. So I called up my friend that I had known from working a full-time job before, and I said, so I heard you're a bag lady, and her whole tagline is, I've got a bag for that. And I said, I've got 2 kids, I've got 2 sets of diapers, I've got a sippy cup and a baby bottle, I've got formula and juice. I need a bag. And so she said, okay, I want you to get the zip top organizing utility tote. And I just went on her site. I didn't even look through stuff. I just typed in zip top organizing utility tote. I found a print that I wanted. I didn't get it monogrammed. I didn't know any better. I'm sorry. But I did get the monthly special, which was an essential storage tote. In 10 to 15 business days, my world got rocked because it arrived. I took everything out of my old diaper bag and put it into my new diaper bag. And it was lighter, and I had like twice as much space for a bag that was almost half the size, and I didn't understand it. And I called up my friend and I said, every mom in the world needs one of these bags. And she said, yeah. So from there, I decided to host a party. From there, she offered me the opportunity. I laughed at her and I said, I don't have time for that. But I didn't realize the time that it would afford me. So Dana, awesome. I'm sorry that your kid is grumpy. Maybe they're hangry. So you haven't had a Hostess of the Club yet. I love that perspective. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So that's a little introduction into me. I started Hostess of the Month clubs probably early 2015 because I wanted some consistency in my business. But there's also some unexpected perks to Hostess of the Month clubs that I want to be able to share with you in terms of growing into leadership and finding those people who would be really awesome at our job as a bag lady. So I've got my notes here because anytime I go live, I've got a little set of notes to help me stay on track. So I'm going to do a quick recap of what a Hostess of the Month club is. I know I posted it in that video, but I just want to do like a quick recap to make sure we're all on the same page. I want to talk about the benefits for us as consultants of having a Hostess of the Month club, including one that maybe we don't necessarily think of, but I do because of just the mindset that I have about my business. And then I want to talk about how to market a Hostess of the Month club. So I know most people, most of us probably on this video or listening to this replay, we acknowledge that having a Hostess of the Month club is great and we want it. But how do we fill it? How do we get these women to commit to 6 months. And so I've got some tips and tricks for you that I've learned along the way, some mistakes that I've made, and some new ways that I'm trying new stuff, and they've proved to be really successful. So I'm going to share that with you. And then if we have time, then I'm going to flip my screen over and show you some of the marketing that I do for a Hostess of the Month Club. So this is stuff that I've done like year 3 of Hostess of the Month Club. So if you've never started, this is maybe something to put on your list for next season or the season after that. But if you're kind of like familiar with Hostess of the Month Clubs and you're ready to take it to the next level, this would be something for you too. Okay. And then if you've got questions, we can answer those a little bit along the way. Okay. All right. So Hostess of the Month Club is a 6-month club, and you get, hello, Melissa. Thanks for introducing yourself. And you find 6 women, six customers to commit to monthly purchases. So there's different ways that you do that. Some women do like it's a 12-month club and you do every other month. The one that I do is a 6-month club. There's 6 women in it. They purchase every month. And their purchase is a minimum of $35, okay? I did a $35 minimum purchase for 2 reasons. Number 1, when everybody orders, it puts you at a minimum party order. And then number 2, when they spend $35, then they automatically qualify for the monthly special, okay? And I'm always talking up the specials. So each month, a different woman gets the rewards. So instead of hosting a party, she simply is collecting those. Well, I'm collecting them, but she's getting the benefits of all those people ordering, and then she gets to get, you know, the free product, the half price product, and the Hostess exclusives. So it lets you fill your calendar. For me, I'm just going to talk in the 6-month increment because that's what I do. It lets you fill your calendar for 6 months. So my clubs that just started this month, I'm booked. I've got parties all the way into July. And that's like a leadership mindset, because we're not thinking, oh, you know, we're not looking into February. We don't turn the calendar and have February open and you're like, I have no parties on the calendar. You have 6 months worth of parties. And so from a consistency perspective and from a sales perspective, that is just it's a really nice like weight off your shoulders, right? Those of us who have done Hostess of the Month clubs, it's really nice to know, like, I have 2 clubs going right now, and I've got parties. I've got at least 2 parties from now until July, and that's pretty awesome. Now, what I do is I always offer, when it's a rewards month, so let's say it's Melissa's rewards month, and when I let people, when people enter the club, the first person to join the club gets to pick which month that she wants for the rewards. Some people will just draw names in a hat. For me, I like to create urgency, and I want to give people a reason to commit sooner rather than later. So I say, first come, first pick of your rewards month. That's what I call it, your rewards month. So let's say it's Melissa's rewards month. I will, I'll reach out to her and I will offer if she wants to have a Facebook party or a home party in addition to earning these rewards, so that way she only goes up from there. And those are conversations where we talk about the $600 Hostess, you know, the Hostess special. We talk about how, hey, right now you have this, but look at how much more in Hostess rewards that you could get, you know, for that sort of thing. Okay. And then it just kind of rotates. Okay, so Melissa does the same thing. And it's always fun to see kind of what people will pick. I don't tell them what the monthly specials will be that time. Like, I just say, you get a pick. If they get a new, if they have it during the new catalog, then I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's the new catalog. But I'm not showing them the new catalog. I just try and keep it as easy and as simple as possible. Okay, so you've got 6 months of parties. But what an unlikely benefit of Hostess of the Month Club is that it is an automatic list of people who would be fantastic 31 consultants. Hey, Jessica, welcome. So for me, and I tell this to my team all the time, I look at everything through a sponsoring lens. I'm looking at whenever there's an incentive, like the January incentive right now, I'm not thinking, how can I earn that bag? I'm thinking, how can this incentive motivate someone to want to start their own 31 journey? Because that's how I look at everything, and it's kind of always how I've looked at things within 31. So a Hostess of the Month Club, I have 6 people who love 31 enough to commit to spending at least $35 over the course of 6 months, right? And at least in my experience for Hostess of the Month clubs, most of them will spend more than that. Most of them spend anywhere between $50 to $60 because they want to take advantage of the customer specials. So what I will tell you is that these 6 women, or if you do 2 clubs, these 12 women, they should be people that you are having conversations about starting their own business, about starting 31. This is a list of women who love the product, and they probably would love to earn maybe like a January incentive, maybe a little bit of a paycheck. And so all of these Hostess of the Month people, I've got a dream team list. They all go on my dream team list. And what I can tell you is that so many Hostess of the Month club members end up becoming consultants. And it makes sense because they love the product. They've seen the perks that the product can do in terms of organization and solutions and things like that. And now they want to get paid for their purchases instead of me earning the commission for it. And so they will, those are conversations that we have. Now, if they join in the middle of the club, then it can kind of get a little bit tricky. And for me, I didn't do that the first time I did a club because I wanted all of my members to do that. Now I gather enough outside orders that if someone wants to join their business halfway through, like let's say Jessica is, we're in month 3 and Jessica's like, oh my gosh, I love those new kits and I think I'm ready. Then I will kind of take her place and I will fill it in with an outside order. If it's your first time with a Hostess of the Month club, again, that's probably not something I would recommend right away. But when the club ends, then these are people to talk to like, hey, you obviously love the product. What would you think about grabbing this $99 kit that has almost $400 in products in it? And then you can get 40% off your orders. And if you did a couple parties, you could earn some commission. Like, what do you think? It becomes an easy conversation to have like for that. Okay. So those are the benefits of the Hostess of the Month Club, which I think most of us knew what those benefits were. But I hope I was able to kind of plant a little seed, and like Melissa and I heard at Leadership Council, kind of flip the script on the purpose of a Hostess of the Month Club, because one of the unexpected perks of a Hostess of the Month Club is we're adding to our dream team list, right? Okay, I'm gonna drink some coffee. If you have a question, comment below. And then I'm going to go into, okay, we love it. Now how do we market it? So hang on, I got to caffeinate. One more sip. Okay. Awesome. Okay, and I think I saw Jessica has some Hostess of the Month clubs. Okay, so how do you market a Hostess of the Month club? I know one of the biggest obstacles, at least I get with my team, and when I talk to people about Hostess of the Month clubs, one of the biggest obstacles is how do you find 6 people, 12 people, whatever. Yes, exactly, Melissa, exactly. That's like fantastic math right there. How do you get 6 people into your club? Does anyone wonder about that? Give me a little hand. If your biggest concern is how do you find people, I know it is early out here. How do you find people to fill your Hostess of the Month club? Does anybody have that concern? Like, I love the idea. I want parties on the books for the next 6 months. I want people ordering $35 from me consistently, but how do you find those people? Does anyone else give me a show of hands? Give me some hearts. Because I know that was a concern of mine, was like, how do you find people to spend $35 a month for the next 6 months? Right? And I know even like now, like January, sometimes finances are tight. And so sometimes people can't, like, it's not in the budget for them to spend $35 a month on something that they don't see as beneficial, right? Or as they see as like extra, not necessary. Okay. So I've got some tips for how to market this Hostess of the Month club so you can fill these clubs, okay? The number one tip that I have is to go beyond just a general post. And the general post usually comes in your like closed customer group or on your business page. But what I see, the most common mistake that I see is that we will find, it may be a beautiful graphic, but we will find a graphic that talks about Hostess of the Month club, and we will put it on our VIP group, we will put it in our customer group, and then we'll just kind of wait. Right? We'll like wait for the Facebook elves to like sprinkle little magic on that post, and for like tons of people to pop in and be like, yeah, I want this, I want this, I want this. What I have found, my experience has been, if you want to fill this club, okay, ready? You got to write this down because this is just like gold right here. And I say it's gold because I got it from someone else. If you want to fill this club, you have to get your ask in gear. Do you notice I had to like emphasize the K? You have to get your ask in gear. Posting a general post, like posting a fun little graphic or come be part of this or whatever, a Hostess of the Month club. Right, I want Facebook elves to sprinkle my magic, but the magic is in the ask. We have to get our ask in gear. We have to reach out to people individually, and we have to ask them if this is something that they want to be a part of, right? So we can kind of do a general post and get people kind of curious or wondering about it, but we have to get our ask in gear. Now, when we're having those conversations, is that Rachel? Yes. Okay. I was like, I knew it was not me, but I loved it. Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. So when you're having those conversations, some of the things to highlight is that this is an exclusive club. Oh, speaking of Rachel, hello, Rachel, is that this is an exclusive club. There are only 6 people out of all of your customers who are going to be in this club. So that's like maybe 1% of your customers are going to be in this club. Now, when I hear something is exclusive, when I hear only 6 people can be a part of this, it piques my interest, right? I want to make it feel exclusive. Okay. And so we can do that. Like if you've got your club going on right now, then post like fun little things in your VIP group that shows the benefits to being a part of the Hostess of the Month club. So that's like happy mail that you're giving. So I'll do this when the new guides come out or new catalogs come out. I'll take a picture of the catalogs, maybe like blurred a little picture, but then on top of it, I'll have like a Starbucks card or a nail file or just a little piece of happy mail. It doesn't have to be big and huge. And then I'll say something like, Hostess of the Month peeps, get ready. You're getting the first exclusive look. Plus you're getting a little caffeine. Obviously caffeine is my love language. And the Hostess of the Month club peeps, the members are getting excited, and the other members, the other peeps are getting curious, and you're kind of planting those seeds throughout, like leading up to the big ask of getting them to join the Hostess of the Month club. Anytime I do a game in my customer group, and I know many of us do this where we have a, what do we have? Like we have the guessing games, like guess how many pens are in this mini catch-all bin, or guess how many diapers are in this, LUT or whatever. I always give my Hostess of the Month club members an extra guess. So everybody gets to guess once, and my Hostess of the Month members get to have 2 guesses. It doesn't cost me anything, but what I say is, Hostess of the Month, you've got another perk. You get an extra guess. Right? And I'm dropping those seeds, and I'm also making my Hostess of the Month club peeps feel valued, feel excited, get a little bit of a perk. The other thing to do, if you're kind of wondering how to fill like the Hostess of the Month clubs, is to give it a specific niche. And that's where I talked about it in the video. What I noticed the last time, it was about a year ago, I had a hard time filling my Hostess of the Month club, because Hostess of the Month club doesn't really explain and doesn't really talk about the benefits of joining, like being part of this group, right? And what I found is that most of the people liked joining the Hostess of the Month club when because they didn't have to host a party to get benefits. So I was doing my marketing and I was messaging people, and I had my beautiful graphics, and the Facebook elves were not, they were not shining their sparkles on my VIP posts, and I was struggling. I was like, what is the deal? I had 2 clubs the season before, and now I had like 2 people signed up. And so I was like, okay, back to the drawing board, right? For me, I wasn't going to let that change the fact that I had a goal of filling 2 Hostess of the Month clubs. So what can I do differently to get people excited? And then it hit me. People didn't want to be a part of the Hostess of the Month club because they didn't want to host, because it still sounded like work for them. And so I said, okay, so what is something that my customers do want to do? Hey, Julianne, what is something my customers do want to do that I can help them with on a monthly basis? And that's where the idea for a Clutter Buster Club was formed. And so I scratched all of my Hostess of the Month club thoughts, and I changed it to a Clutter Buster Club, and I marketed it, and I marketed it. Yes, I did marketing on it. So I didn't say the word party. I didn't say the word host. Hey, I didn't say the word hostess rewards. I eliminated that from my marketing vocabulary, and instead I said Clutter Buster Club, 6 months. Each month, we're going to bust a different area of clutter, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, so now we're going to talk about how we can bust clothing clutter. And now we can talk about how we're going to bust pantry clutter. Now we're going to talk about how we can do this. And I can show you those marketing materials in just a second. But I eliminated the word hostess. I eliminated the word party. And it's like a 6-month membership. It's $35 per month. And each month you're getting a different focus. Now with the hostess rewards, right? Because one of the months, let's say Julianne, she's right there. Let's say it's Julianne's hostess reward month. I just said free month plus additional perks. So I just eliminated the word hostess from my vocabulary. So I changed it up. And then I talked about the other perks. I talked about, you get a free gift when you join. And I started brainstorming. And the question to write down for yourself is, what are the benefits to your customers? What customer, let me try that all again, okay? What benefits will your customers have from your club? Because at the end of the day, and this comes to sales too, this is not about what they can do for us, keeping us consistent with the calendar, but marketing should be about how this will benefit them, right? So like Hostess of the Month Club, right? It sounds like they get rewarded. Clutter Buster Club, at the end of 6 months, they have 6 spaces in their house that are like clutter busted, right? The other one that I do is I do a Clutter Buster Club the first half of the year. The second half of the year, I do a Christmas Club, right? And so instead of a Clutter Buster Club, it's a Christmas Club. It's the same exact thing. It is just marketed differently. And I say each month, I will give you ideas for different people on your Christmas list. And the goal is that by the time they get to December, almost all of their shopping is done. And so it creates a huge relief for them, right? They still get all the perks, they still get the free gift, but it's marketed in such a way to meet them and to show them how this club will benefit them. Okay, so I try to find that niche. And then the same thing with the Christmas Club. I don't talk about parties because, people during the holiday season, they don't want to add anything else to their calendar. So I talk about, hey, let's start in June and let me save you a ginormous trip to Kohl's in November where the line is out the window and it's raining outside, when rather you could just be at home, you could tell me what you want, and I'm going to take care of it for you, right? So I talking about the niche, like who is it that you want to target right now? Y'all, KonMari is just changing the game for us, and Netflix is just giving us like free marketing, right? So I saw this like take on a Clutterbuster club, but it's basically like the KonMari club. And so her thing is like each month we're gonna focus on a different step of the KonMari like steps to organization. Her show is on Netflix. Is anybody else like just absolutely obsessed with it? Is it just me? Okay, I'm gonna get more coffee. So each month they're focusing on a different area of KonMari, and then she's showing how 31 products will help them, you know, like KonMari or Marie Kondo is about finding joy, how you can find joy within these 31 products. Melissa, that's a fantastic idea. Giving each person a book in the beginning is just like, it's just magical. And it provides value, right? You're giving them a reason why this club is beneficial for them, right? Yeah, I read the book like a year ago, and it like, I got rid of all the things. But I think, hey, they get to purge a bunch of stuff, and then they get to fill kind of those spaces with organization things that help make life easy. And who better to help with that than 31 girls, right? So have the niche, and then talk about the perks of the club throughout. So now I have a consistent list. So when someone's like, hey, what's this Clutterbuster club thing? You know, what's going on with that when I talk about, hey, I'm sending you your Starbucks card, or Clutterbuster peeps, they got the first look at the catalog. They have the catalog in their hands right now. They've had 5 days to look at it and drool over it. Who else wants one? So brainstorm, maybe set a timer, or, you know, whatever. What are different posts that you could do in your group that are just dropping seeds of Clutterbuster club? Maybe it's some you go online and you find some statistics about clutter and connected to anxiety and connected to wasting time. And like I saw the statistic that like by the end of our life, we will have dedicated 1 month of our life to just looking for things that we can't find. There's my dog right there, right? So people need to see the benefits of that and the perks of being part of a club like this. And, you know, maybe it's changing the marketing up on it in a new and fresh way. So if you've had a Hostess of the Month club before and you're having a hard time, you know, finding people, switch up the marketing. Figure out how, yeah, you could definitely do, and what I can do if you want to start that thread is I'll do some screenshots in my VIP group of how I do that, okay? My Facebook parties, for those of you who do Facebook parties, I have a survey that all of my customers fill out. It's so I can capture their data, their contact information. But one of the questions is, do you need to bust some clutter? Would you be interested in a $35 a month Clutterbuster club to help you organize your life? And then they say no, or that sounds interesting, or whatever. But then when it comes time to fill my club, now I have a warm lead list of people to go through for that, okay? All right, so we do have a little bit of time. So what I want to show, I'm going to flip this over. So I'm going to kind of move this around, and I'm going to show you, I have a folder in Canva that's Clutterbuster Club. So let me show that to you. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to kind of do this. I can't rotate my phone while recording. Okay. So here is my Clutterbuster Club. There's my dog. So here is, let me go down to the Clutterbuster. So here's, let me show you this little guy. I have 2 dogs, and they're playing with each other in my office right now. Jessica, I have 2 clubs right now, and my goal is to start planting seeds and launch another 2 clubs in March. I try to start them at the same time. So here's the Clutterbuster Club. So again, I say 6 months. So notice how in here, I don't say anything about hosting. I don't say anything about party. 1 room each month. So we focus on a different room each month. 1 month free. So that's their rewards month. exclusive perks only for club members. So those exclusive perks are monetary, like a Starbucks card or a key fob or whatever, but they're also not. They're the ones who, oh, sorry, Melissa. They're the ones who are seeing sneak peeks of the catalog first. They're the ones who are going to get exclusive info when the new seasonal guides come out. They're also the ones, I have a closed group for them, and I'll go live in there and I'll show them, okay, this is, look at, this is how I organize my office. This is how, like, I went live with them. Last month was pantry organization. Yeah, screenshot this so that way y'all can make your own pantry organization. So I did, like, I went live in my group and I said, here, this is how I organize my kitchen. And I showed the Get Creative, or not the Get Creative, the wood caddy, the close to home caddy. But I also showed them some non-31 items, because for me, that kind of builds like the trust. Yes, see? Bam, there you go. Okay, so then Christmas Club, check out Christmas Club. So Christmas Club, again, it's the same thing, y'all. It is the same thing. It is 6 months. It is $35 a month. It is 1 month free plus additional rewards. It is exclusive perks only for club members. They get a free gift when they join. And so what I did, this is when I pay attention to outlet sales. And so the Merry and Bright zipper pouches, I ordered 18 of those because I want to fill 3 Christmas clubs. And that's what they're getting. Okay. The free gift when they join. Exclusive perks only for club members. That's the same thing. And I also, I'll show you that in a second. And then a bonus shopping pass in December. So one of the things that I did to fill my Clutterbuster Club is sign up today and you'll get 40% off any one item. Like genius, right? As soon as I posted that, I filled my last 4 spots. Okay, so there's the Christmas Club. And so then I have like different banners for this. And then what I've done over time, again, this is not what I did my first time, but like I have little printables for them. So I have, when they get their big folder, I have their gift list. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Their gift list. And so they can make a list of all the gifts that they need to get. Okay. For Clutterbuster Club, I have a wish list for them. And it all kind of looks the same. And so this is something that I did. Again, I did not do this my first time around. So if this is your first rodeo with Hostess of the Month Club, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. I would recommend just working on getting some spots filled. But if you kind of want to take your Clutterbuster Club or Hostess of the Month Club to the next level, then this is what you can do. I've got an overview. Okay, here's like just a letter that I made. They see my face. So here are all the perks. So my goal is when they open their folder, I want them to feel the way that I feel when I open my Stitch Fix box or when I open my Fit Fab Fun box. So I want them to get excited. So I have like these in here. I've got a calendar in here. I also do for Clutterbuster Club, when it's the month that they host, I offer a 30-minute phone call with them to talk about some specific areas that they want to organize. And so this is just the same thing. Overview and rules. I've got the banner up here. The thing that I just did, this is some, again, I am always working on how I can improve this. And so what I just did this last season is I made labels to go on the outside, and look at how fun. I thought it was clever. It's just a welcome to Clutterbuster Club. And then it says, warning, opening this packet will result in joy. Thank you, Marie Kondo. Organization, special perks, and all-around awesomeness. You have been warned, right? How fun would it be to get something in the mail like this? If they're spending $35 a month, I want them to feel like valued with that, right? Yeah, and it's also about, I'm going to flip this back over so you can see me again. Hello. It's also about how you're making them feel with this $35 a month. I don't want my peeps to feel like this is an obligation, like it's a monthly bill, right? I want them to feel the way that I do when I buy something on Stitch Fix or FitFabFun or any of those other subscription boxes, because this is kind of like a subscription box. I want them to be excited that they're investing in this way. So that's kind of what I do. That's what I do for that. So there you go. There is your overview of Hostess of the Month clubs. So we started with a little overview of kind of what it is and all the perks. Then we talked about the benefits to our business and how it really creates consistency. But what I hope it also did for you is realize that this is, these Hostess of the Month peeps can turn into some of your best consultants. People in my Clutter Bust, or who started as my Hostess of the Month club, they're now directors on my team. My first or second Hostess of the Month club, I had a girl who was just obsessed with all the things, and I said, you know, why don't you just earn these things? Like, why don't you grab the kit, and then you can, you know, get these things. You know, at that point it was earn 25% commission. And she's like, no, I can't do that. I'm way too busy. I've got 2 kids. I work full time. And I just said, okay. And I had her name written down, and I would follow up with her every month because she would go above and beyond. And so finally she said, okay, I'm going to join. And after her first party, she almost quit. I have a message. I remember the message that I got from her where she was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, it's too scary to put myself out there and to be talking about product and to be asking people to sell. And that same girl, I sat next to, in Laguna Beach at Leadership Council, because she joined, she, promoted to director, and she's one of the top performers in the company. So I hope that we see that it's not just about creating consistency with our business with sales, although that is a huge benefit of it. But these are women who love the product enough that we should be having a conversation with every single one of them about the opportunity. And when they say no or when they push back, we just know, okay, we'll go back and we'll visit it a little bit later. Yes, and we danced with her. We danced with her like crazy. Okay, so we talked about those benefits, and then we kind of really got into some of the nitty gritty with how to market it. So we talked about making that club feel like an exclusive perk that like 1% of your group, like that your customers are in. We talked about finding a niche with Clutterbuster Club and with Christmas Club, and then we definitely talked about ways to make her feel valued on a monthly basis. So Jessica's question is, if you feel 2 clubs, do you create 2 separate groups or put them all in one? I put them all in one group. I feel like for me, it lets me work smarter and not harder. So I don't have to go live in 2 separate groups, or I don't have to go, I don't have to post here and then post here. So for me, I do one group. I know some people who do 2 groups, but I don't do that. Now, when I do 2 clubs, they start at the same time. So they're on the same journey. In March, because again, my goal in March is to fill 2 more clubs. In March, when I start again, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to add them to that club, but probably what I'll do at that point is I'll start a new closed group, so that way they can be part of the journey from step 1 instead of coming in kind of halfway through. So that's what I do. Now, when it comes to sending them their link, because I'll send them their link usually around the 5th of the month, and I'll ask for their orders by the 10th of each month, because I want my month to be kind of top heavy. I'll personally message them that. So I used to do the thing where I would be like, Jessica, Melissa, Rachel, Julianne, here's your link. This person, here's your link. But people got confused. So when I actually personally message them, and then I can do like a little follow-up with them, like, what are you looking for? You know, things like that. So that's what I do. So I hope that answers your questions. So thank you so much for taking this time to invest into your business, especially if you're catching the replay. Thank you for that as well. So I'm going to be hanging around here in the next few days, so you can't get rid of me just yet. And so I know Melissa, again, action steps, Melissa, I know you're doing that you're going to post that thread about like some seeds that we can start planning, and then we can figure out, we can talk about verbiage and things like that. So if you have questions, I'm going to be here to answer them for you. I know some other people who are consistent with Hostess of the Month clubs, they probably got some really good ideas too. So thank you so much for letting me come in here and take the time. I will chat with you all soon. Take care.